The field trip discovery. Emily Thompson was 17, a high school junior from Oregon, more familiar with Douglas firs and red maples than anything tropical. On a spring morning, her environmental science class visited the local botanical garden. Emily loved plants, but she didn't expect one tree to change her life. The guide, a cheerful botanist from India named Dr. Patel, stopped the group in front of a tall, leafy tree with a broad crown. Its bark was rough, its compound leaves pointed and serrated, and clusters of small white flowers peeked between them. This, Dr. Patel said, resting his palm against the trunk, is Azadirachta Indica, or Neem. Back home, we call it the village pharmacy. Emily tilted her head. The name sounded exotic, like something from a spell book. What makes it so special, she asked. Dr. Patel smiled. Almost everything. Its leaves, bark, seeds, even the roots have been used for thousands of years for medicine, farming, and protection. It is one of the most important trees in South Asia. Emily leaned closer. The air smelled faintly bitter, herbal, and strangely clean. She didn't know it yet, but this tree would plant its roots deep in her imagination. That evening, Emily couldn't stop thinking about the neem tree. At home, she opened her laptop and typed Azadirachta Indica. She learned that neem was native to the Indian subcontinent, thriving in hot, dry climates where few other trees survived. It could grow up to 65 feet tall, live for over 150 years, and its wide canopy offered shade to weary travelers. But what fascinated her most was its nickname, the Tree of 1,000 Gifts. Every part had a use. The leaves were antibacterial and antifungal. The bark was used for malaria and digestive issues. The oil from seeds became a natural pesticide and skin treatment. Even the twigs were used as toothbrushes in rural villages. Emily whispered to herself, "It's like a superhero in tree form." A week later, Emily ordered neem oil online. The reviews said it worked wonders for acne, hair growth, and even mosquito bites. When the small bottle arrived, she uncapped it and wrinkled her nose. The smell was pungent, like garlic mixed with peanuts. But curiosity won over hesitation. She dabbed a drop on a stubborn pimple. The next morning, the redness had gone down. "No way," she muttered, staring in the mirror. By the third day, her skin looked clearer than it had in weeks. She grinned. "Guess the superhero tree works." Emily's research deepened. For her environmental science class, she decided to write a paper on neem. She discovered that in Ayurvedic medicine, India's traditional system, the neem tree had been revered for over 4,000 years. Ancient texts called it Sarva Roga Nivarini, meaning the healer of all diseases. In villages, people planted neem near temples and homes, believing it purified the air and warded off evil spirits. Women hung neem leaves at doorways during festivals, and farmers used crushed seeds to protect grain from insects. Even the United Nations had once declared neem as the tree of the 21st century because of its potential in sustainable agriculture. Emily typed in her draft, "Azadirachta Indica is not just a tree, it is a cultural treasure, a medical ally, and an ecological guardian." Emily made neem the focus of her science fair project. She titled it, Azadirachta Indica, Nature's Green Chemist. She compared neem oil spray to store-bought pesticide on tomato plants. The neem-treated plants thrived, their leaves unchewed by caterpillars, while the others looked ragged. On presentation day, her booth caught everyone's attention. Judges were impressed by the way she blended tradition and science. One asked, "So you're saying this ancient remedy could help modern farming?" Emily nodded. "Yes. Neem is biodegradable, non-toxic to humans, and protects crops without harming the environment. It's basically a natural solution to pesticide problems." She won first prize. That summer, Emily volunteered at a community garden. Oregon's mosquitoes loved her. Normally, she returned home with itchy welts, but this time, she rubbed a diluted neem oil lotion on her arms. The result? Fewer bites than ever. "Thank you, neem tree," she whispered under the stars one night, watching fireflies dance. One evening, Emily video called her grandmother, who lived in Florida. She excitedly told her about neem. Her grandma chuckled. "Oh, honey, we've used neem in Florida for years. Caribbean immigrants brought it here. I even have a neem soap in my bathroom." Emily's jaw dropped. "Wait, you knew about this all along?" "Of course," Grandma laughed. "I used neem oil on my roses when you were little. Keeps the aphids away. Maybe you didn't notice." Emily felt a connection, not just to the tree, but across generations and cultures. Neem wasn't just a foreign miracle. It was quietly thriving in America, too. Emily began journaling about the neem tree, not only its scientific facts, but also what it meant to her. It taught her resilience, thriving in harsh climates. It showed her generosity. Every part of it had value. It symbolized healing for skin, for soil, for communities. She wrote, "Neem is a reminder that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's leafy, bitter, and silent, but still powerful enough to protect life." Emily's passion spread. She gave a small presentation at her school's Green Week, showing how neem oil could replace toxic sprays in school gardens. Teachers were amazed. Soon after, she created an Instagram page called @NeemDream, where she posted tips: neem oil for healthy plants, neem tea for immunity, neem soap for glowing skin. Her followers grew quickly. She wasn't just learning about neem, she was becoming its storyteller. On her 18th birthday, Emily planted a small neem sapling in a big clay pot, keeping it indoors for winter. Though neem preferred tropical heat, she hoped it would adapt with care. She whispered as she watered it, "You and me, we're going places." College was only months away, and she planned to study environmental science. She dreamed of working on sustainable farming projects in India, Africa, or anywhere neem could help communities. She imagined standing under a vast neem tree abroad, its branches shading entire families, its leaves whispering stories of generations past. A year after first meeting the neem tree at the botanical garden, Emily stood taller, wiser, and more rooted, just like the tree itself. She thought about its roles. In medicine, fighting infections, boosting immunity, healing skin. In agriculture, protecting crops, enriching soil. In culture, a sacred guardian in villages. In ecology, purifying air, offering shade, surviving drought. For Emily, neem was no longer just a tree. It was a symbol of harmony between science and tradition, between humans and nature. She wrote her final journal entry. "Azadirachta Indica may have come from far away, but now it grows inside me. Its story is my story, one of resilience, generosity, and healing. Someday I'll stand under its branches again and thank it for teaching me what it means to truly care for the earth."